It is a gorgeous morning, and as far as I can see, we're the only people in this entire campground. And by we and people, I mean me and Chaco. Not a person. The to-do list in my head told me to find the place Dan Evans randomly pointed me to.
On here to that.
Zeke's Hole. A little Max Track serendipity, the Zeke of Zeke's Hole was Ezekiel Johnson, the original custodian of Natural Bridges National Monument. Zeke ran his guide business out of Blanding. The Utah Historical Quarterly shows his pack team fitted out on a dusty Blanding Main Street. Local lore says Zeke took a $1 annual paycheck. Natural Bridges is Utah's original National Park Service location. It's the only monument or park in Utah designated by the father of America's national parks, Teddy Roosevelt. Chaco and I headed out.
Oh, do you have a duck? Is it my duck?
The turnoff for Mule Canyon ruins caught my eye.
It's pretty cold out here, so I'm probably not going to linger too much. Should we find Zeke's Hole?
Plus, we had a hole to find.
That's a yes. So I found Zeke's Hole Road, but not Zeke's Hole, because it has just taken me higher and higher. As you can see, I'm at a high point where there's lots of wind. Often the old trappers they'd have their place, and it would be called, like Jackson Hole was originally Jackson's Hole, and then they just thought Jackson Hole sounded better. But anyway, it means a low portion of ground that's a little bit out of the elements. This is not out of the elements. This is not a hole. This is a high point. I am standing on exactly the spot where Google says Zeke's Hole is. And it is not.
At one point, we got enough cell service to see more detailed road info and took a new turn on Zeke's Hole Road.
This road is actually 2 or 3 roads. Zeke's Hole Road. This is Zeke's Hole Road. And that's Zeke's Hole Road. This one goes in a loop back to the highway, and I think this one goes up and around in another loop. So, Zeke, you sound like you were a really cool guy, but man, you're hogging the roads, dude. Hogging the roads.
Zeke was a Blanding man, so it makes sense his hole was less than 10 miles from town.
We're in Blanding at Patio Diner.
Patio Diner is Blanding's longtime hangout. Order a burger, fries, and a shake with a side of conversation with friends.
In fact, my granddaughter works here.
What's your granddaughter's name?
Her name's Alyssa.
Yeah. Alyssa! Do you call her Grandma?
I call her
Granny.
Granny.
Lori Metzger has found friends here.
I think this is the longest I've lived anywhere at one time. So, yeah.
So you've stuck.
Yeah, I like it, even though my sister lived here when I moved here. And even though she moved away and my mom moved away, I'm staying. I love Blanding.
Lori's sister owns Patio.
Now, this piano is totally out of tune because I haven't played it in a long time.
One sign of a warm sister relationship.
My sister was remodeling the place. She kept telling me, I'm going to put a piano in here and I'm going to have you play the piano. And I was just like, I thought she was kidding me. Naughtiest theme.
Dun, 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 dun.
Young and the Restless.
Is it Young and the Restless? Oh, okay.
When she told me one day, she's like, the piano's on its way. It should be here in about a week. I was like, are you serious? You seriously want a piano here?
As I sat with Lori, Dan and Karen Mariano walked in with their sister-in-law and niece. They came up from Mexican Hat.
I like living on the reservation.
Karen and her niece shared videos and photos of the place that Karen loves, with a view of what we call Monument Valley.
Monument Valley is in the sky.
The family members told me the Navajo evokes the color of the rocks, how they shine in the sunlight with white striations contrasting with the dark reds and blacks.
They barely got city how many years ago? I'll say like 10 years ago.
But running water is still a ways away. Karen still loves her home, though. She, Dan, and the kids raise animals.
I was raised with like how I am now, with the sheep and goats and horses. I lived in a one-room house. I was like, I didn't have my own room.
One-room house?
Uh-huh.
Oh my gosh, how many people in the house?
There's like 4 of us.
A scarcity of what many of us assume are necessities, with a wealth of solitude and beauty.
Even though it's hard, like we don't have running water, and then we have to go to a nearest community that takes showers, but we're used to the routine, and I think I'll rather stay where I'm at right now.